The property system. Every landlord needs. What if I told you that most landlords are losing thousands of dollars every single year, not because they have bad tenants, not because the market is working against them, but simply because of how they manage their properties? Today we are going to change that completely. I'm going to show you exactly how a proper property management system transforms real landlord situations from chaotic and stressful into organized, profitable, and sustainable. And if you are new here, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel because we drop content like this regularly that can genuinely change how you operate as a landlord. Now let us get into it because what I am about to share with you is going to reframe the way you think about managing your rental portfolio forever. Hello, I'm Nelius, and let us start with the foundation. A property management system is not just a fancy spreadsheet or a checklist you forget about after the first week. It is a complete operational structure that covers tenant communication, rent collection, maintenance tracking, lease management, financial reporting, and vacancy handling. Every single one of those pieces has to work together. When they do, your business runs smoothly. When they do not, you end up firefighting every single day and wondering why you got into this business in the first place. That is the reality for so many landlords right now. But the ones who build proper systems, they are the ones scaling their portfolios confidently and actually enjoying the process. So let us talk about 4 real case studies that illustrate exactly what happens when landlords either implement or neglect a strong property management system. Case study number 1. Wesley owned 3 single-family rental homes in the same city. On paper, 3 properties sounds very manageable. The problem was Wesley was handling everything through text messages, a basic notes app on his phone, and a mental calendar. He had no centralized way to track when leases were expiring, which tenants had paid, or what maintenance requests were outstanding. One month, he accidentally let a lease roll over for 60 days without renewal because he simply forgot to follow up. During that window, his tenant moved out without notice, and Wesley lost over $4,000 in missed rent and turnover costs. Once Wesley built a structured system with lease expiration alerts, a dedicated tenant communication log, and a simple monthly financial tracker, his entire operation changed. He stopped reacting to problems and started anticipating them. Within 6 months, he confidently purchased a 4th property because he finally felt in control. Case study number 2. Yolanda had a small apartment building with 8 units. She was actually quite organized by most landlord standards. She kept files, she followed up with tenants, she responded to maintenance requests. But her system was entirely paper-based and stored in physical folders at her home office. When a pipe burst in Unit 5 on a Friday night, Yolanda could not quickly locate the tenant contact details, the warranty information for the plumbing fixtures, or the name of the emergency plumber she had used previously. What should have been a 2-hour fix turned into a weekend crisis that cost her nearly $3,000 in water damage because the response time was delayed by over 4 hours. Once she moved everything into a centralized digital system where all tenant information, vendor contacts, warranty documents, and maintenance history were immediately accessible from her phone, her emergency response time dropped dramatically. She now handles crises calmly and efficiently because everything she needs is at her fingertips instantly. Case study number 3. Alfred was a landlord who had been in the business for 11 years across 6 properties. He had experience, he had knowledge, but he had never actually formalized his processes. Every year around tax season, Alfred would spend almost 3 full weeks sorting through bank statements, receipts, and informal notes, trying to reconstruct his financial picture. His accountant dreaded working with him. One year, Alfred missed a significant deductible expense because he simply could not locate the receipt in time. He estimated he overpaid on taxes by nearly $2,000 that year alone, and that had probably been happening for years before he caught it. When Alfred implemented a proper system that automatically categorized income and expenses by property and kept digital receipts organized in real time, his tax season went from 3 painful weeks down to about 3 days. His accountant was thrilled. His savings were real and immediate. Case study number 4. Robin was just starting out. She had purchased her first rental property and was determined to do everything right from the beginning. She set up a complete property management system before she even placed her first tenant. She created a tenant screening process, a digital lease workflow, an onboarding checklist for new tenants, a maintenance request procedure, a rent collection schedule, and a monthly financial review routine. When her first tenant moved in, the entire experience was professional and smooth. The tenant felt they were dealing with a serious, organized landlord, and they behaved accordingly. Robin had zero late rent payments in her first year, zero disputes that escalated beyond a simple conversation, and she actually turned a small profit in year one, something many first time landlords fail to do. Starting with the right system did not just save her money, it set the entire tone and standard for her rental business from day one. Now, here is what all four of these case studies have in common. Whether it was Wesley losing money because of disorganized lease tracking, Yolanda struggling during an emergency, Alfred drowning in tax season, or Robin setting herself up for success, the system was the deciding factor every single time. It was not the tenants, it was not the location of the properties, it was not the economy, it was the presence or absence of a structured, intentional property management system. So, what does an effective system actually look like in practice? Let me break it down into five core pillars. The first pillar is tenant management. This means having a clear process for screening applicants, onboarding approved tenants, maintaining ongoing communication, and handling the move out process systematically. The second pillar is rent collection. This means having a defined payment schedule, a clear late fee policy that is communicated from day one, and a consistent follow up process when payments are missed. No guessing, no awkward conversations because you forgot to address it sooner. The third pillar is maintenance management. This means having a formal request process, a vetted list of reliable vendors for different types of work, and a documented history of every repair made at every property. The fourth pillar is financial tracking. This means recording every single dollar of income and expense tied to each individual property, not just lumped together, but broken down so you can see exactly how each property is performing. The fifth pillar is compliance and documentation. This means keeping every lease, inspection report, notice, and legal communication organized and accessible. If you ever end up in a dispute with a tenant, your documentation is your protection. Now, I want to be honest with you. Building all of this from scratch on your own is absolutely possible, but it takes time, it takes research, and it takes trial and error that can be expensive. That is exactly why I created the Effective Property Management course. This course is designed to walk you through every single pillar we just talked about in step by step detail. So you are not guessing, you are not piecing things together from random blog posts, and you are not learning from costly mistakes. When you become a member of the Effective Property Management course, you get access to proven frameworks, templates, and guidance built specifically for landlords who want to run their rental business like a real business. Whether you have one property or 20, the principles inside this course will help you build a system that scales with you. The link to learn more and become a member is right there in the description below. And I genuinely encourage you to check it out because the investment you make in learning the right way to manage your properties pays back multiple times over. Before I wrap up, I want to remind you that if this video has been valuable to you, please take 2 seconds to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. It genuinely helps more landlords find this content, and we are building a community here of people who are serious about doing this the right way. Every time you engage with a video like this one, you help us reach more people who need this information. The bottom line is simple. Your properties are assets, but your system is what determines whether those assets work for you or drain you. Wesley, Yolanda, Alfred, and Robin all had different situations, different properties, and different problems, but they all shared one truth. The moment they committed to building a proper system, everything changed. You do not have to wait for a crisis to figure this out. You can build the right foundations starting today. Go check out the Effective Property Management course in the description, start building your system, and take control of your rental business the way it deserves to be managed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.